So it is our first Style Squad of the year, a time when we bring in a panel of experts to weigh in on stories that are getting a lot of buzz. Joining me now, our relationship counselor T.C. Brantley, business and marketing maven Dian Griesel, and fitness expert Tom Holland. Welcome all of you to Style Squad. It's nice to have you here.
Thanks for having us. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all of you. Our first topic, a bizarre story that is unraveling each day. Now, Notre Dame linebacker Manti Te'o is the center of an online hoax that started with the death of his girlfriend, and so we thought his girlfriend. But later it was found that his girlfriend, Lene Kekuo, was actually fake, created online by another man. Now people are questioning at what point did Te'o know about this hoax? Really confusing story to begin with. Dan, what's your take on all this?
You know, my biggest thing is if anyone would call someone a girlfriend or a boyfriend, any kind of significant other that they have never met, I find incredibly disturbing. And it's a sign of where technology and connections, which you talk a lot about, and I'd love to hear your opinion, you know, with connections where they're getting so skewed. I mean, you're not connecting if you think the internet covers these interpersonal interactions.
We are living in a society where people don't know how to have great definitions of relationships, and you can't just talk to someone over the internet or over the phone or by Twitter or by Facebook and say automatically you are my girlfriend, your boyfriend. It takes that connection, it takes that time, and in America we take too many shortcuts. That's why there's so many long divorces.
Tom, why do you think it's taken so long to set the story straight? No one's really come forward yet and kind of explained it.
I think it's genius. I mean, think of all the money he saved. You know, Christmas. I wish my girlfriend in college had been fake.
Stop it.
I'd have a lot of extra cash around. It's bizarre. It's completely bizarre. I mean, how can someone be sick and you never go visit? I mean, I find it hard to believe that he knew nothing.
But also, it looks at how disheartening American can be, that I'm going to take somebody's pain and use it for my benefit. I mean, that's the key with what's happening right now as well.
I also think from a media perspective, if this guy wasn't the quarterback at Notre Dame, this would go nowhere.
Would we care
These
that
kind
much?
of scams happen all day long, and no one gives them any credence whatsoever.
Well, how do we know who to trust? Because we are now finding out that there were other people duped by this man that came up with this plot.
The key is that we have to understand is that people are out there to do evil, to do hurt people. And you know what? I guarantee you that guy was hurt by another girl. So no, as someone did me, I'm going to do it to somebody else. And that's what's going on in our society today, is that instead of healing, let me hurt somebody else instead of healing.
Some revenge out of it, right?
That is correct. That's right.
All right, and we should mention today at 3 o'clock, Katie Kirk will interview Manti Te'o, an exclusive on ABC.
That should be
so
good.
We'll see exactly what's going on there. All right, let's move on. Last week, Oprah sat down with cyclist Lance Armstrong. Lance admitted to doping and using all sorts of banned performance-enhancing drugs to win all 7 of his Tour de France titles. What do you think of his win at all cost confession? Was it justifiable? We'll start with you, Tom.
You know, there's two things. He is the worst cheater in sports ever, and he's also the greatest cyclist in sports ever. Those two things are not mutually exclusive, and that's why I think it's such a great, crazy story. You know, as a guy who's done Ironmans and marathons and stuff, I always knew. You know, anyone who truly knows the sport knows that he was doping. This is not, you know, it's like, who's the actor who, you know, the really tan actor. It's like no surprise that guy was tanning. You know, like that's the admission that he comes out and tells us.
Exactly.
But it's really sad. But he still is the greatest cyclist of all time. You know, my analogy is if there's a test, you have a science test, and you're not allowed to use a calculator, and everyone uses a calculator, and you get the highest score, everyone cheated, you're still the best, you know? Not that it justifies but he's still the great, and that's why he's so angry. And he finally said what I've said. He's so angry because they all had, it was a level playing field. He beat everyone. The sad thing or the bad thing was that he brought everyone else down.
But again, why doesn't that speak to the character of the man, though? I mean, yes, he's a great cyclist, but the character of the man is that
TC.
He kept saying, I'm not guilty, but he was guilty.
But I think there's more to what society is doing here, and the media, and I shape media all day long.
All right, shake it.
And we take professional athletes and we make them superstars. So here you have a professional athlete that can say, okay, I can make $500,000 a year, or I can do what everybody else is doing because I am the best. And that arguably, it's tough to say he's not. He still came back and won after cancer. He's raised a ton of money. He still came back, and he did not ask to be called the hero that everyone made him. That was media He never said, I'm a hero.
But he
Everyone
lied and
said he was a
denied
hero.
over and over again. No?
And maybe all of his extracurricular activities with cancer, with kids, was a cover-up for what he was doing wrong. And again, in America, we just got this thing, you know what, as long as I can do wrong, but let me do something right in the meantime to help do the balance, the seesaw balance, we're fine. But that has to stop because, again, people were affected by what he did.
Well, and to Diane's point, it's all about money. It's all about money.
It
so
is.
there were so many people that I'm not going to name, you know, if you know the sport.
Tell me your names.
Well, you know, that helped him. You can't do this on your own. He did test positive.
There
He did
were
test
tons
positive.
of people that benefited
point.
from this.
Good point.
So
Good
there
point.
could have been many points. I mean,
Nike.
the guy ended up with cancer at midway point. Now, was that cancer from
the doping? Good
or
point.
was it from
Good
an
point.
incredible level of stress of saying, okay, you know, I did this. I've got this huge bunch of money that I'm generating, not just for my family and myself,
But others as
all
well.
my agents, these sponsors, all these people want me to be this being that they have created and made me into. When you know what? I just want to go out and be the best cyclist in the world.
And everyone
Because
else
you
is
have
doing
to-
the same thing.
Right.
Everyone else is doing
And you
the
have
same
to really want to be that to go do that grueling
He's
race.
still a horrible,
But if,
horrible athlete.
but if
you know,
Lance
so-
Armstrong came to me as his life coach, I would say to him, take a year off, get with your family, chill out, stay underneath a rock for
Sure,
a while,
and
and
he'd say,
then
this is
come
the only
back
session I'm
differently.
doing with you. See you later. It's a runoff.
I can't pay you next time if I give up all my sponsorships.
All right, that's a tough one to say because he really did lie.
No, they're both true. They're both,
Again,
they're
it's the
both-
character. It's the character of the man, but Diana, you're very good. People covered him because they were profiting from his lies. And America, we have to change that. Let's profit from truth and not from lies.
I just
All right.
think everyone has to take a little bit of responsibility in everything. It's usually not one person. There's a lot of factors that go into situations.
I
It's
mean,
a
the
domino
whole Sheryl
effect.
Crow factor comes up too, right?
Don't
But
take
that's
me
a topic
there.
for another
Don't
day.
take me
Let's
there.
move on quickly. We
Yeah,
have about
move
a
on with
minute
that
left.
one.
President Barack Obama, he was the 17th president to be inaugurated for a second term. Let's try that. At the time of deep partisanship and economic uncertainty, we're dealing with a big debt here, and
Yep.
in the coming weeks, what do you think can be done here? I mean, the
I
sides
gotta
are
say,
so separated.
I don't understand how the largest corporation in the world,
Talk
the
about it.
United States,
Talk about it.
does not have to balance its budget.
Preach,
Yet
girl.
we have, seriously, but we have congressmen and senators
Mm-hmm.
that are creating Sarbanes-Oxley and
Yep.
all different rules for the publicly traded companies that I work with every day that are under onerous accounting and legal bills, yet the big picture, the government doesn't have to balance. We are the shareholders of this organization, and we're being shortchanged.
And let me take this deeper. We in America, we are the ideal for democracy. We're doing everything for freedom, and yet we cannot balance our own budget.
It's
We can't get
ridiculous.
along between the House and the Senate and the executive branch. We got to get along. Let's get along. But to me, from a marriage point of view, this is a great analogy because, again, until husband and wife, you're not going to put it in there, unless husband and wife get connected and work together, nothing will work at all.
All right, very good. Style Squad, thanks so much for being here. We're
Thanks
out of
for having
time.
us.
Thank
Another
you.
lively conversation. All right, up next, David Lee shares an easy slow cooker recipe when style returns. Don't go anywhere.